Hey there, Chris here, coming to you with another tour, this time of one of the special spots from my Ultimate Garrett County Adventure Map. Here you see it in the full glory of the poster version. You can order this too. It's a big 54 by 40 inch poster you can put up in your house or rental unit or office. And along with all the trails and other cool stuff to do in the county, I also have a number of special interest spots marked. Today we're going to be going to the southwestern corner of the county, to Kempton, Maryland, and the southern and southwestern point of Garrett County as marked by the Deacon's Line. We'll be checking those out. I did some live video, but a lot of it was out the window of my car as I was moving. So I'm starting here on the computer to give you an orientation of where Kempton is and what it is. So let's jump over, and if you do a Google Maps search for Kempton, it will take you down to this southwestern point of Garrett County, but there's not really a town or anything there that it identifies. There's Kempton Road, but the story behind this is that Kempton is essentially a ghost town. And it was a coal mining town, started in the early 1900s, I think 1913. And here you can see an early picture. This was the town of Kempton, and it was a company town. These were all built and owned by the coal company. And this is a view looking west, so we'll see what it looks like today. But quite an enterprise, you know. There's and I'll reproduce the links to these websites if you're interested. Another shot of the layout of the town and kind of what these houses look like, and a really cool picture looking down the hill. You can see the rail line was there. They had the coal tipple, which would kind of pile it up so they could load it on the rail cars, and the houses for the bosses and the employees. So let's look at it today. So we saw that from the Google Maps version. We've got the southwestern tip of Garrett County here, and this Kempton Road that goes through over into West Virginia. We'll look at this Fairfax Stone here a little bit later, but we're looking at that same view, and what we're going to look at is, first of all, the imagery of what's here today. So here's that Kempton Road, and just a few remaining houses from kind of all of these that we've seen here, and we'll get to see what some of those look like today. But what's really interesting is I'm on the Maryland LIDAR viewer site. So this is a form of imagery that you can see a little bit what is under the trees and what the ground looks like, and we're going to make this imagery, aerial imagery, transparent, and we're going to see what lies underneath there. So you can see, here's the full imagery again, and now we're seeing what the actual ground looks like, and you can see that grid of houses, the streets and houses that was once there, and all of those houses are no longer there, just what's remaining now, but you can see all of the remnants of what was there in the town. Let's look real quickly at one of the pictures, static pictures of kind of, you can see a couple of houses remain. Those are these houses right here, and if you look at the layout and the construction of them, you can see those similarities in these houses, especially when you look down the hill. That very well could be, that house right there could very well be one of these right here. So kind of interesting, and I'll switch over to my live video that I did, and I'll have to narrate over that because it was very windy and I had the phone hanging out the window. So we'll switch over to that right now. Okay, as promised, here we come. We're going west right now along Kempton Road, so we're still in Garrett County, but kind of going towards West Virginia. That's the first still standing house. A little rough shape on that one, but remember, this would have been just rows of houses along here that now have been reclaimed by the land. And as we come around the bend here, it's kind of the last little cluster. You can see down there, and some other ones on the right and left, about 3 or 4 that are still standing from the original ones, and then a couple of newer ones mixed in there as well. And that's it. That's about all that remains of the housing of the town of Kempton. And in front of us is the last kind of commercial, the operational building of the mining operation. This brick building in front of us with the green doors was a storage building and something dealing with the horses that they used. So we're in West Virginia now. That's the last building of the Kempton mining operation, and we'll now head out and to the Fairfax Stone. Okay, and another quick little detour on the computer here just to show you where we're heading. So we started at the corner in Kempton, and we're going to visit the Fairfax Stone next. And very quick history lesson of the Fairfax Stone ended up setting the western and essentially southern border of Maryland. The original grant defined the tip of Maryland as the headwaters of the Potomac, and early surveyors established that the north branch of the Potomac was the bigger branch and set this as the Fairfax Stone as the headwaters, the source of the Potomac. Really, it could have just as well been the south branch and gone all the way down to there. This all could have been Maryland, and you can hear more about this in my greater Garrett County presentation. There's a lot more detail on that, but just a very quick little history lesson on the Fairfax Stone establishing this western border of Maryland. So we'll go visit that in person next. Here we are at the Fairfax Stone. If you watched my video on how Garrett County could have been bigger, this played a critical role in establishing both the southern and western boundary of Maryland and Garrett County. And it is what the surveyors at the time thought and picked was the headwaters of the Potomac River. So this is, in their estimation, the where the Potomac River starts. So kind of a spring out of the side of this hill and eventually forms the river that flows by DC. Future surveyors kind of found a bigger, stronger kind of main branch of what they thought was the river. So this may not be it, but this was what was picked at the time, and that was kind of the possession became 9/10 of the law, and this formed the point at which those borders were selected. And you can see another monument set here in 1910. This was the result of a Supreme Court decision that finally brought to an end a long-going dispute between Maryland and now West Virginia as to what the border was exactly. So an interesting little piece of history. Nice little park here. A couple picnic tables, some trash, and you can get to it off of 219. We're in West Virginia now, interestingly. This does not actually form the southern point of Garrett County in Maryland, that southern tip, but where the river kind of bends back a little bit, does a big horseshoe, and right in the old town of Kempton is where that point is. So we'll maybe make a visit there too. But interesting little point of history in related to Garrett County. Okay, now we're coming back east from Kempton, and I wanted to get a little video of coal mining today. It is still happening, certainly not at the levels of the Kempton area, the early 1900s, but this is the Matiki Mine in Garrett County, and if you know me, I'm all the above energy options. We certainly should be moving to cleaner renewables and other energy sources, but for right now, this is still helping to keep the lights on, and this is happening here in Garrett County. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this special video tour of this special spot in Kempton and the Fairfax Stone, and a little tour of the southwestern tip of Garrett County. A little interesting history and perspective on both coal and the county's coal heritage, and a little history on how the county got its shape. So until my next tour, hope to see you out and about exploring Garrett County.